All right, so we're finishing this unit out with linear functions part 2. So we're in 3.9 again, and we're going to be working with linear functions, which means we're going to be focusing on y is equal to mx plus b. But we're going to be doing that through word problems. So I have 2 examples for us to work through that are different kinds of word problems that you might see when you're doing your practice. Here's our first example. This says that a piece of machinery loses $15 in value every month. If its value after 1 year is $2,250, what is its initial value? So we have to think about y equals mx plus b. Because within this problem, we're going to find some of those pieces, and then we're going to have to solve for the one that we're missing. So I see a couple different numbers in here that we need to focus on. I see that it loses $15 in value every month. So every month it's losing $15 in value. If its value after 1 year is $2,250, what was its initial value? Well, hopefully this word keys in if I'm trying to figure out what the initial value is. If you remember, that's what our b is, our starting point, our beginning, the initial value, where everything takes off from. So that's what I'm trying to find with my y equals mx plus b. These other numbers are going to be y and m and x, and we're going to use them to find b. If it's losing $15 every month, that's what's happening, that's the motion, the movement that's happening within the problem, and that's actually our slope. We're losing $15 every single month. If its value after 1 year is $2,250, so this is where things get a little confusing. So this is talking about money, which means our final answer is also going to be money. So this is our $2,250. Our x, though, is not 1 year, because it's not 1, because this is saying it's losing $15 every month. So instead of x being 1, we need to think about months, and in 1 year there are 12 months, and that's our x. So this is our total, which is why he's by himself. This is what's happening, that's the movement that's taking place, and then instead of 1 year, it's 12 months. These go together, they're a point, 12, 2250. So that's why I plugged it in for x and in for y. So now I'm going to go ahead and simplify this expression to figure out how much it cost. We'll solve the equation to figure out how much it cost. So 2250. I went ahead and multiplied 15 and 12. Remember, it's negative, so you get negative 180. We still have our plus b. I'm then going to add 180 to both sides to finish the problem. 2250. And I get $2,430. So the initial value of the piece of machinery is $2,430. It's like a car. When you buy a car, it depreciates. And so this is the same thing. They bought a piece of machinery and it's depreciating every month. And that's your final answer. One more example. All right. It costs Ace Electrics Company $1,900 to manufacture 10 VCRs, and then $2,200 to manufacture 16 VCRs. At this rate, what would the cost of manufacturing 25 VCRs be? Well, I'm given money and VCRs, and money and VCRs. 2 of them, which means we have 2 points. 10, 1900 and 16, 2200. You're probably like, how'd you know which to pick for x and which to pick for y? Money is usually y, because y is usually the total at the end. And then this is our variable. It's independent, and our money's dependent on whatever our variable is. So when I have 2 points, automatically we know we need to find slope. So we have y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. 2200, minus 1900 is 300. And 6 minus 10 is 6. 16 minus 10 is 6. And when I divide that out, I get $50. So this means that they're spending $50 to make each VCR. Okay? But the whole point of this is we need to figure out what our equation is. mx plus b. I'm going to use either point, it doesn't matter. I'll use this one. 1900 is equal to, it costs $50 to make a VCR, but we need to figure out that initial cost, or how much it's costing to just rent the place to make the VCRs. So 19, and then that's 500. When I subtract 500 from both sides, I get 1400 is B. So now I have my equation. Y is equal to M is how much it costs to make each VCR. And then this is probably like how much it costs to have the place where it's manufactured. Because you have to pay an initial upfront fee, and that's what that probably is. So now that sadly doesn't even answer our question. At this rate, what would be the cost of manufacturing 25 VCRs? So what I want you to do, hopefully you're listening, is I want you to use this equation that we just came up with to represent this scenario, and I want you to figure out how much it costs to make 25 VCRs. That's your try on your own. Good luck.